This is the new film by director David Fincher. David Fincher, one of my idols. And it's weird because I think David Fincher probably doesn't have the name recognition of a Scorsese or even a Nolan, but I put his filmography up against almost anybody else's. I mean, this guy is a machine. Seven, Zodiac, Fight Club, Benjamin Button, Gone Girl, The Social Network. This guy is just an absolute machine. I've loved almost everything that he's ever made, and I was so excited for this movie. This movie tells the story behind the screenplay for Citizen Kane, a film that is widely regarded to be quite possibly the greatest film of all time. Now, full disclosure here, I have seen Citizen Kane, saw it once, saw it freshman year of college. It didn't have much of an impact on me. With that said, I acknowledge its historical relevance, and I completely understand why it is viewed as one of the greatest, if not the greatest film of all time, and I was really looking forward to this movie. It's a movie about the making of movies, old-time Hollywood, David Fincher directing it, adapting a screenplay that his own father wrote. I could not wait to watch it. I have now seen it, and I'll say this, I think Mank is an excellently made film. I think it is beautiful to watch, and there's so many great things about it. I'm going to tell you about them. But overall, given my expectations, because I said, like, before this year even started, if there's one movie that's going to take that 10 out of 10 spot, if there's one movie that I'm going to watch and say, all right, this is the film that's not going to just be my favorite movie of the year, this is a film that might be one of my favorite movies of the decade, it was going to be Mank. Given how sky high my expectations were, I am slightly disappointed, but with that said, I highly recommend Mank. I think it's a movie you should absolutely watch. I think it's an important film if you are a lover of film. I'll start, as always, with what I liked. One of the greatest crimes in the history of humanity, quite frankly, is the fact that David Fincher has not won an Academy Award for Best Director, was robbed for The Social Network. He's going to win it for this. Like, I can confidently say this movie directorially is next level. It looks so brilliant. The black and white aesthetic is beautiful. The cinematography is stunning. Fincher just does an unbelievable job of taking things. He's like Tarantino kind of in that aspect, where he's able to take things that you wouldn't find necessarily interesting, and you see just a single shot and you go, wow, how did you make that look cool? I mean, there's moments where guys just answer phones and it looks impressive. There's not a single strand of film in this movie where it feels like David Fincher wasn't giving 100% maximum effort. It's a revelation to just watch him direct a film. He's one of the all-time greats, and while this probably won't end up being my favorite movie of the year, if Fincher wins Best Director, I will stand up and cheer. He deserved it in the past. I think he'll probably deserve it this year. This movie is an amazing, amazing directorial masterclass. These performances are excellent. Gary Oldman, brilliant, as always. You could tell that he really sunk his teeth into this role. He's tremendous. He almost always is. Amanda Seyfried, I think, is going to be one of the front runners for Best Supporting Actress. I don't think she's, like, amazing, but I think it's just such a perfect role for her in the same way that, like, L.A. Confidential was a perfect role for Kim Basinger, and I like Amanda Seyfried. She's an appealing actress. I've never seen her be bad in anything, but I never thought of her as like a powerhouse performer. You watch her in this, and you're like, wow, she goes places here as an actress that I didn't think she was capable of going, and I think she'll get nominated and may even win Best Supporting Actress. She's tremendous in this movie. For the first half of this movie, I was saying to myself that I am loving this film more than any movie that I have watched in the last 5-6 years. Every single frame was mind-blowing. Every single line of dialogue was riveting. It was moving at this incredible pace. I mean, just boom, 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 breakneck speed. Fincher is a master of that, of taking dialogue and making it feel so important. Every single line is like a strand of thread back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's incredible to watch. It's like watching a great tennis match or something, and a lot of that is because of how Fincher edits, how Fincher directs his movies. The score, Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails, who won an Academy Award for The Social Network, he's back with this. I believe Atticus Ross is his composing partner as well. It'll get nominated for a bunch of technical awards, and it should. The second half, it's not as interesting. It's just not. The movie in the first half, it's kind of a victim of its own success, because in the first half, it was moving at this pace that was just incredible, and then it slows down, and the dialogue becomes less engaging, and the characters become less appealing. I couldn't help but feel a little bit empty. And that's very strange because Fincher is so not like that with a lot of his movies. Even The Social Network, which is a film about a lot of really unlikable people when you think about it, you get to that final scene where Mark Zuckerberg keeps sending the friend request to Rooney Mara's character, and you do kind of feel emotional watching the end of that movie. As much as Mark Zuckerberg has just been a ruthless bastard throughout that whole movie, you do kind of feel something. I wanted to feel something at the end of this, but I really didn't. And as great as these characters are, and as incredible as the set design is, and all the technical stuff is just amazing, I came away from it feeling a little bit hollow. And it reminded me of what is still my favorite movie of this year, and that's The Trial of the Chicago 7, which had an ending that was very schmaltzy, very over the top, but I even defended it. While I did complain about it, I defended it somewhat at the end by saying, you know what, that moment works because this story works. These characters work. I thought the pacing in the second half of this movie was downright poor, to be honest with you. It really slowed to a crawl and became quite less interesting. I do have to say, though, because I know I'm being a bit negative here, I highly recommend this movie. Like, I think it is a brilliant piece of cinema that I do recommend people go on Netflix and watch. I think it's an important film. And like I said when I reviewed Tenet, Christopher Nolan, also probably him and Fincher are my top two favorite directors. And it's about as 2020 as it gets that we get a movie from both these guys in the same year. And I don't really love either one. But what this movie gets right, it gets incredibly right. It gets as right as almost any movie can possibly be, but I couldn't help but find the final resolution and these characters a little bit hollow, and it's why I can't give this like some 9, 10 out of 10, but I am going to give it a solid rating nonetheless, and I do recommend it. I give Mank an 8 out of 10. I think it's very good. I think you should watch it. I do recommend it. I wish I could have really, really loved it more, because for the first half, man, I was adoring it. While I do think this is a critic's movie, I don't think you need to have seen Citizen Kane to enjoy this film. I think there's enough great direction and enough great performances here to enjoy it on its own and appreciate it for its own merits without having to worry about seeing Citizen Kane. So that will do it for this review. You can follow me on Twitter at Castellani2014. Please click that like button. Please click that subscribe button. Let's get those watch hours up. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Peace and happiness.